It's almost Halloween in 2023. It's Monday at 11 o'clock. Good morning. This is Jason Schwartz, the Neutral Zone, MauiNeutralZone.com. We are also on Akaku, Maui Community Media TV. Channel 55 on cable. We are also to be found on YouTube. If you look on YouTube and put in the Neutral Zone or Jason Schwartz or Maui, Hawaii, Jason, Maui, Hawaii, or Neutral Zone or all that kind of stuff, you'll find it. But now you wonder, what the heck is this? Why is this guy talking so much? Well, today is a very unusual day. It's Monday, October 16th. And I remember in Superman comics, I don't know what it was, probably Kryptonite, that Superman was there and suddenly a new world came called Bizarro World. Now, it might have always existed, but there was a link, some kind of thing like a doorway. I think we're either on the edge of that doorway or we have passed through, and we are now in a Bizarro world. Just before this show today, and every week for the length that we've been on since 2018, so 5 years, there's this guy, David Pakman, and I said, well, David Pakman, he sure asks for money a lot, which I probably should do, but we don't have that kind of personal station. But that's a separate story. But David Pakman today was talking about he has 2 strikes on copyright. That means he's been challenged, and the board that is challenging, board group, Fox, is potentially putting his whole station, because they have a station, off the airwaves. And they don't exactly know what's going to come. But the only reason I brought that up, because then I listen and I hear, wow, Lindsey Graham is warning Iran not to escalate the war in the Middle East or we'll be coming for you. That's quite a novel statement. And to be what's that about? Or how about this one? Donald Trump has 52% of the Republican primary vote in polls taken, and the rest of the field of God knows how many have the rest, and they divide it all between them, and there's only 4 candidates with more than 4%, and even if they gathered it all together, you hear it. Donald Trump is very possibly going to be Bizarro World, the candidate for the 2024 election, while he has 4 trials. One he's in action right now. And I don't think we should spend too much more time except to say, what is going on here, world? We're here on Maui. Blessings to West Maui. Blessings to all of Maui. But I know West Maui is still in a major early stage after these fires that happened on the 8th of August. Here we are 2 months later, and I hear all this talk about rebuilding and what they're planning, and it is such an open wound, and there's so many groups with so many different ideas. Some groups are coming together. We'll see what those working relationships will look like as far as how productive they are. I hope so. But I can't imagine, no matter what, unless something, somewhere, someone, some group puts a major infusion into the pocketbook of Hawaii and the state of Maui, or changes its programs and policies so dramatically that we're able to bring in revenue to be able to, number one, maintain our aggressive lifestyle unless we're billionaires and millionaires and all those heirs, because things are extremely expensive. Housing is absurdly unavailable to a great number of people, thousands of families and people. And I created this show to be able to talk about it. 5 years have gone by, and I can say, a lot of the things that we talk about and the people that we have on, at least as I see it, are part of solutions to some of these problems. And it's not like I haven't been around some of these people that I'm talking about in our government. And it's not that shouldn't be people that are watching this show and looking at these people and seeing ideas and talking about it. And you know what? It's been a great failure so far, in my opinion, on the way I've delivered my message to you, the public, both on radio but also on television. I've been on public access television now, God, since its first class, 1990 something, 2, 3? I guess it was 2. But anyway, it was a really long run, and I've been doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and it's actually thousands now, but less than thousands, I think. But after a while, people thought I was the television guy. I had many people think I owned Akaku, or somehow I ran it, or God knows that's not true. Jay April's done a real heavyweight job of running Akaku. Not only the production side, which takes a massive effort and team, and all put in incredible dedication to this kind of public access television and supporting you, the people, in what they do and giving things to you that are local and meaningful and available for you to participate in. That's how I got involved, public access, way back. Well, since then till now, and I've interviewed so many interesting people with ideas that go along with the reason that I created the nonprofit in the first place, was to bring out renewable energy where I had history and knowledge and wanted to bring it here. You can clearly see a businessman and a marketing genius I am not. Some people said, Jason, you should go back, do singing, be singing. Well, here I haven't really done much except jumping on stage with a couple of friends over the years. Blessings to Lono years ago. Lono's over in Molokai and now, for allowing me to join him on stage so regularly and, you know, giving me a chance to have fun, sing. But the working musicians on this island need more work. And the world's in its digitized world and all the rest of that, and things that are happening here, and there's less work available, and many musicians laugh with me, not really laugh, that the pay they get now in many of these establishments, and they're happy to get the jobs, don't get me wrong, but they pay the same as they did 30 years ago. What's that? And, you know, things are pretty nutty. What are we going to do with this bizarro world? Well, if you're listening to radio and you don't have a pen and paper, maybe you have your computer and you can write this down. Get involved. What can you contribute to helping someone, some system? Is it $1? Is it money? That's your best thing that you can give? Maybe you do, and if you do, blessings, you know, help. But you also can use your talents and make difference in someone's life. That's my request. Here I am sitting and just talking to you. Boy, I sound like, I'd say Hamlet, but he was probably eloquent in what he was talking. I'm just rambling and giving you a stream of consciousness that really got inspired by our friend David Packman from Pacifica Radio that's in crisis. His crisis is different than ours here. Well, I'd say mine, but ours. Can you imagine that you have been with me, you, the public, for 30 years and more, that I've been on Maui bringing ideas to solve real-time problems, and to say they haven't been listening is giving myself too much importance. There are a lot of ideas that have come up. These ideas are important. They haven't been listening. They haven't been taking action. And the big thing is, we don't have the money. We don't back things that aren't yet real and solid. We don't. We're so far behind. We are in housing. Just that alone, it's just beyond my understanding that we could have so many people that are challenged and homeless, many uncounted. Again, I've gotten involved in different groups over the years, very few of them official ones, but I was on the Council on Culture and the Arts, Commission on Culture and the Arts, when Linda Lingle was mayor. And we didn't have any power. We recommended. And I had a really great opportunity to meet Melinda Gahn. And by the way, Melinda Gahn, congratulations. The Martin Luther King Poetry Contest, which I guess everyone around here in Hawaii knows because the kids get an opportunity to write about peace. And they get awards, not only in their classes and grades and blah, blah, but they are awarded by the participation into a vision of peace, which on a day like Bizarro World Introduction Day today, for my situation, acknowledging it, is perfect. Thank you, Melinda, and all the hard work you and your team and beautiful poets. I met so many nice people through the Maui Live Poets and what they've been doing. Thank you for all that. You know, I was going to talk today about all kinds of stuff, but Mankind Project, I just spent a weekend, I guess it was Thursday, that I went to be part of the team, MOS, a man of service, and I was going to be working in the kitchen and feeding a group of new initiates into the New Warrior Training Adventure, which is this 3-day for them, Friday late afternoon to Sunday late afternoon. Maybe it's 2 good days. I don't know. I haven't counted. Anyway, it was a real adventure. It was up at a local retreat site, and I found that I was underwhelmed. Underwhelmed not by the event, but by my going and finding there weren't enough people in the men of service, and suddenly I had more work and less time to be making it a retreat experience and being with an incredibly dedicated, beautiful bunch of men who care about the future of our world, who feel that we all can be better. And they have a program, not to go into any detail, because you can look up Mankind Project. And here in Hawaii, there are all kinds of people. Rather than get specific, check it out yourself. But there are 100,000 men around this country and world, I believe, that have gone through this experience and then sit regularly and get together. Where in my vision is that women get together and talk, men not so many times like that in this. So it's been a really terrific experience. But I am a little bit tired. I didn't sleep terribly well, and my body is aching wherever it can ache. And it's just one of those kind of times. But when I woke up this morning and I'm watching and listening to the news, I said, okay, what did I miss in 3 days? Not much. You know, one thing they did miss is I missed an opportunity to be with my wonderful partner, Ariel, who, thank goodness, a 30-year relationship that really has been a blessing in my life. But I didn't do that. I was on the Mankind Project. You can tell I'm all over the map here, just very tired and really wondering when I woke up, the things that I was talking about become hard to be a priority when I'm feeling all these things that are going on. The news reports and the thing we hear from Pac-Man about what's happening to someone like him. YouTube gave me 2 warnings. I did one show with a guy named Dan, and he was a pilot who suddenly wasn't a pilot. Maybe he still is, technically, but he's in Pakistan, and that might have been he's there because of a relationship, but he was a pilot that made it really clear that the planes that flew into the towers at 9/11 and his whole conversation about it. And then I had another show where I talked to a guy right here. That other guy was in Pakistan when I did the interview. We did it through Zoom. But I had a guy sitting in here also who talked about during the COVID thing and the shot and his political stance he spoke about sort of in general. Anyway, YouTube gave me a second warning and pulled me off for a month. I said, wow, these are difficult subjects. So we're in a different kind of world. You don't know where to put your energy. How can I focus on this when that's broken and that's broken? I just got a shirt from Ariel I liked. It says, built in the 1950s. We got all the parts, some of them still working. The world is really, like, look at that, how I scattered the paper. The world is really in a funny place. It's finding so many things that are just actualizing differently than, some are good, some are bad, but this is especially challenging to me. It has me, who already was multitasking, trying to explain a vision where I wanted to tie, still do, wanted to tie together art and music and environment. And they thought that was too many ideas to spring on people to tie things together in the way that I had tied it together, with supplementing development of money for creation of solutions. That's why I got involved as a political candidate. I was encouraged, after people saw my visions, to bring out those ideas. And then I joined a Green Party, and now I'm considered political. Maybe that's why I wasn't listened to. Maybe. Or maybe they thought, well, we have these other problems and issues we're dealing with. Or, oh, what's Jason got in it for him? Nothing's been in it for me. Here I am at the edge of a different place in my life, because nothing was in it for me. And others didn't say, hey, we're going to include you. You've been doing these things. People love your voice. You should do this. You should do that. You could do this. You're in a... privately, I get that, but I don't have any agency. I don't have anyone representing me, and I haven't been talented at getting that together. So here I am, been talking about great things and solutions, and when I try to actualize them, you know that expression, I don't have a pot to piss in? You've heard that. That means I don't have resources to prove me credible over the words that I speak and my good credit rating. So, you know, it's a very funny thing. So how do you get things to happen? You need people that see with them. What's in it for me? If you out there, whoever you are one of those people that say, I could do this, I can help, take a look at that principle and see what's in it for you. Look at MauiArtsAndMusic.org. Look at Maui Neutral Zone. Take a look at some of these shows. I have favorites only because my favorites are the ones that the technology was being shared, like Michael Smith. Michael Smith, I call it the green waste to energy and more. You know, Need to Grow movie. Michael was, what do we say? He wasn't a reluctant star. They burned down his place, whoever they is, and he's rebuilt. And then the finances came to be an issue, and now he's doing it and building again in Montana. We want that here, Maui. That show was great because it shared an important message that we need to act on. And if the people say, oh, you can't do this, you don't have a that, and you can't prove of this, I will show you enough, and people will show you enough to show you we need it here now. The solutions, the reason I came here originally was solar and renewable energy, because I had a cogeneration system before. That meant we can generate two kinds of things from one source of power. These are so many of these systems now, 30 years later, we look back and we say, why weren't these things used? Because they weren't cost effective, because the government is overwhelmed looking at how are we going to build houses, how are we going to stop these just cutting down all the grass and all the things, and how are we going to deal with that after these fires, and how are we going to do this, and what are we going to do with the water? Now Kula has problems in their water system yet again because of ash, and we got big problems, no money. We're not any different than the world. And some people think that because they have a house and a this and a that they're somehow insulating. I guess so. But the world's a big place. And that thing about 99% of the people are working, and for the 1% that control and have, That's the world is not even really waking up. I think they're just getting tired of too much pain and they're reacting. How can 50+% of the Republican is not a poison word to a Democrat or a Libertarian. It shouldn't be a poison. But the Republicans and this whole thing going on now is poisoning, if not already, have really set stage for major, major changes in our lives that are going to be, they already are, staggering in their consequence. And God willing, people help each other in crisis, many of them. But I'm just praying that we continue. Take a look at these shows that I'm talking about, and you'll see there are solutions. There are solutions that can raise money, and through that raising of money, create jobs and pay people to do things that will expand, not only in the area of environment and energy, like I just mentioned, but in the area of arts and music, and a way to use the technologies that we have now. We hear about them, AI and all this, but they seem to find a way of replacing us because they can do it without us. They do it all through artificial intelligence. I said let's use it to its max and do good things and change our idea about what our everyday goals are. I sit here and I realize, I know Ram Dass talking love, peace. We can go off and talk about so many people that have sent a very similar, if not identical, message of love is all there is. And we'll see where that all goes. I know that those that experience it and embrace it are finding beautiful life. Those that don't, they're also finding their beautiful, ideal life. Everything is perfect, right? Isn't that what God does? Everything is perfect. Everything is God. So it's going to be an interesting world. I don't know how much of it I'm going to be with you. I am ahead of myself in my medical. I guess this is sort of me talking about my life, isn't it? I've been pretty healthy, but recently I haven't been. And not only could I have trouble with walking up and down this hill with a multi-part kitchen serving a major group of people with very few staff, maybe in one of them. So I didn't have downtime. But I get checkups. I'm 72. I'm concerned now that I possibly need solutions that I can't find solutions because I don't have money. There are alternative solutions to the health challenges I have, maybe, but I need to explore them. Yeah, I explored them on the show. I remember scalar energy. People talk about scalar energy now as the energy that possibly zapped Lahaina. Many of you have heard all these theories and things. But scalar energy, what is scalar energy? I don't need to be defining it, but there's health benefits. I had Sandra Rose Michael on my show now a number of years ago talking about scalar energy. The ability to do things that really need to be front and center and create attention. I don't have money for treatments, so it's nice to know these things exist. I had an automobile accident and the state pays it all, except somehow the system didn't happen that way. The state says they pay it all. Who's the state? Who's telling who? And can they get this group to pay what they say they should be paying, or get me? The bottom line is I didn't get treatment, and I think it all rolled snowball from that. April 2021 auto accident. But maybe not. Maybe it's just everything working together. I feel like the guy in the movie Network who said, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, and then he shot himself. I'm not ready to shoot myself, but I am ready to say, world, I've had enough of the way it is. And the great number of you who are asleep, please wake up. Give it a chance. Give yourself a chance. Give our world a chance to be beautiful and not have to use force techniques, which is possible because some of these things that we need, meaning we all individuals need, aren't available unless we force that, because we got to force someone to do, or we have to. You see it, every day when I watch what's happening with these solutions, just from the wildfires, and hear the ripples and the differences it's creating on this island of the homeless, the different kinds of homeless, the different way of treating those kind of homeless, the benefits and money they give them, what the solutions will be. It's just, and that's one issue of many. I'm glad that Rick Bisson is mayor, because I don't really know what goes on behind closed doors, but the talk that the people in the prison that are prisoners really respect the guy, to me, I think is really a big testament to him. And I just wanted to mention that. I hope that he is able to find people around him who give him some wisdom to move on things outside of a conventional model. And that's where I come in. I've been looking to speak to him, and we haven't had this kind of opportunity. And that's just once in a while. I call the office and I'm put off to an assistant here and there. And I think that's what politics and government has felt like to some people, is like they're kind of keeping you away to what they think is important because what they've got to do is important. Maybe they're just overwhelmed and don't have the way to handle your idea. Or maybe all that stuff boils down to the fact that I like to boil it back down to Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon took us off a gold standard and made money, funny money, that all we have to do is print more, make the system bigger, make the system. Now we have so many things that are running on a value that may not exist. How do you have this dollar represent so many dollars and be considered real? As I was just saying that, I kept thinking about Donald Trump. Every real estate person knows, that I think knows, that your goal in an application is to give the highest and best view of a value and support it with facts. I haven't looked in any detail, and I am not a Donald Trump fan. Sorry, Donald. You don't have to name me if you don't want to, but you can call me whatever you want. In real estate and in mortgage, you put on an application the best and highest value that you believe. A certified financial statement is supported by facts. Here we go. We'll look at the facts that are presented and being supported by the financial people. Every time I've ever done a loan, I tried to give the best valuation on my statement of value. When you certify based on, an opinion of things, the value of these properties and their value, goodwill value, the question of whether it's worth 15% additional value on real estate, that's obviously a stretch. Well, and the guy just had an advantage in the playing field because a lender, they want certain ratios. It's very possible that those ratios they needed with Donald Trump were close, and they needed that value in the financial statement to consider the loan. But then the more you really understand, the more you really say, well, some of these things are done on special favors, and we just put them up there, and they're never expected to really see the light of day. Boy, this conversation's going all over today. So I'm looking forward. That's only trial one of 4 trials for our friend Donald Trump. And to me, the big one starting in May of 2024, when he took things from Mar-a-Lago that were documents. They now have proof in the classified documents and other things, I guess, that confirm the reasons why Donald Trump took these documents and what his intentions were. This stuff is so out. That's why I say bizarro world. You know, if I didn't have to do a radio show Monday, you would probably find me sleeping right now because I was up for 3 days. So you're hearing a run-on, but you're hearing a real run-on. One that really says, let's all be accountable to a different way of doing things. Or people like me, you know, I feel marginalized already, and we can change that. I can just change and do a different thing. But I just feel like the powers of Maui politics and the nature of our society have limited my effectiveness, and I was blind to personal things. And I'm doing this so long, I am fully invested in trying to get people out there to realize how important this plan is and how having fun, enjoying music and art and cultural events can be coupled with raising money not on a immediate basis all the time for one thing, but raising money to be able to create a fund to create as we need and want to explore things. And it didn't take anything hard. It took us enjoying the art, enjoying the music and the live shows and recorded product and cultural events and the sharing and all the things that could now be monetized in a way to help make us self-supporting and to be able to deliver value where it's not painful. Bit different outside of the conventional system, but integrated here locally could prove to be a really powerful example of how paradise can happen and be supported by this different, expansive vision. Anyway, I'm sure I'll mention it in some other shows, but thank you for being my psychologist today. You guys have been great. I wish you would have talked up a little bit. I could use some direction, not just let me ramble. Like I'm looking here, I look at this cover. You that are on radio can't see this cover. This is KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. This is Jason Schwartz on the Neutral Zone. This is the cover to a magazine in a day and age of internet. No, this was way back 1993 concept. I've mentioned that on so many shows. I'm sure that the people that are regular listeners are kind of tired of it, but I like to mention it because it really set the stage for a base prejudice and a base issue that really set the tone. Why in 1993 things that I was planning couldn't happen. I have, Pundy Yokuchi and all that happened there where he got a stroke, where I didn't have a local voice. And the prejudice that I don't have, like I mentioned earlier, don't have resources to contribute except the ideas. And the people to do these are already here and can be built from here, from local. So I laugh in some ways and cry in many ways because this is really a pivotal point in our world. We could be any day, but it's now. It's what are we going to do to solve these problems, to be able to live our lives and not think if we create our little isolated bubble of goodness. Well, we have to, kind of, don't we? We have these nuclear families that if they don't get supported, but it's getting critical. This bigger thing that we turn over to politicians and ask them to handle. Donald Trump said the Republicans are eating their young. It was very specific. It wasn't just a general category of conversation. But things are different. Things are different. Why are we relying on a group of things outside of ourselves when we should be relying on ourselves? And the answers are all there and all available and create things because people are too busy and don't have room to add another thing into their world to solve the world, which is why I thought by getting money on art and music and culture through this process could create, some say that's sort of socialist. What are you talking about? The idea is to give money back in to create more solutions and jobs, and that's what it is. It's helping support a system where freedom still exists. You know, socio-democratic, you've heard those kind of terms, or socio-economic blend. We need to do something to supplement that. We don't have enough money to even house our people. And if the lifestyles that we as Americans, I don't know really the percentages, but that vision and dream of having your own house and being your own little nuclear group, little boxes made of people doing their lives, but there's been a real vacuum. I want to say not really power vacuum. Power is that it's been people with their reasons that control and share and create what they want. Do we think that all these decisions that are being made are going to solve all these problems for us? Somehow, that's how we seem to elect people, and maybe not. I think that there has been no long-term visionaries or place for it in a system, a governmental system, that doesn't make a place for them. So we're going to I've created a bizarro world of my own where I believe things are this way or could be this way. That's why I used Superman as that reference, because everyone may have an ideal of what is good and right, but somehow things get twisted for whatever reasons, and I just touched the surface. Anyway, I didn't know I could talk so long. I'm going to play a song that I hope that you enjoy. It's called Peace in Our Hearts. Happy birthday, Louise Lambert.
Every day, worlds are born and worlds die away. Seems like now the world's so small, we see it all right here on our TV. Seems like the more we bridge the distance, the harder it becomes for us to see. Well, if all the world's a stage, we're actors in a play with an ancient script of fear and doubt and greed. To write another page, to find a better way. Reverence for life is what we need for peace in our world, for peace in our country, for peace on our street, peace in our house. And it starts with peace in our hearts. We fear the dark, we mortgaged all our future to keep the hooded horsemen from the door. We're talking peace, but building bigger weapons, so he's closer than it ever was before. But in the land of the free and the home of the brave, why do so many people need a gun? If it were just you and me, the world could be saved. If deep inside
peace in our hearts, for peace in our world, for peace in our country, for peace on our streets, peace in our hearts. It all starts, right? Peace in our house. It all starts with peace in our hearts. Yeah. Wouldn't it be fun if that was the priority, where that was our priority? If we saw someone, I guess I look at it so amazing that I think of it socially, but it all starts with peace in our hearts. So it's that internal work that I'm still working on. I hope many of us are working on. Bruce Beckvar, River of Gold. Oh, that's a great memory for me. Bruce Beckvar. I don't know how many people here know him. He's known many places in the world. I know that it was 1995, I think. I can't believe how many years ago that is. Yeah, you can see I've been on this path a long time. Bruce was a great... If you look at the opening credits of our TV show, Maui Mama Presents, you'll see Bruce playing among a host of things put together by someone who actually works here through Akaku. Carl Rozecki did this way in the early days of animation here in Video World. But Bruce had a friend named Omar Ken, and they did a whole program here at the then Maui Lu Longhouse. And boy, I'll never forget how beautiful it was, Bruce and his brother, and Omar Ken, and the whole. It was just a beautiful thing. And there's an example of a group of people with a different religious persuasion. I mean, now here in the West, we know them by their big gurus and the other ones that came from this. But this was, I want to say 30 years ago. Maybe every generation says that. But when things were felt more pure, you know, there was this real global peace effort, right? Yoko and John said it, right? All we are saying is give peace a chance. It's a crazy time. Like I say, you can hear it in my conversations today. I'm all over the map looking for a meaningful direction and some help. So if you've got it, it's welcome. Thank you. I played a couple of songs because I loved them. I'm going to look for something else because I'm tired of hearing me speak. Well, here's an interesting choice.
Girls in the heels and a skinny pair of blue jeans.
Boys in black pearl buttons looking just like Springsteen.
Mama says, why you wanna play in a silly rock and roll band? Well, if you studied, Mom, I know you'd understand, yeah.
It's the lights, it's the hype, it's the roar of a crowd on a Friday night, and everybody's screaming out, yeah, 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 and everybody's singing out, yeah, yeah, yeah. Get on your feet if it feels good, it feels right. 'Cause we're all stars tonight, so
Everybody singing out, yeah, yeah, yeah. And everybody screaming out, yeah, yeah, yeah. And everybody singing out, yeah, yeah, yeah. Get on your feet if it feels good, feels right, 'cause we're all stars tonight, so sing it out, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah.
That was Lady Antebellum, Lady A. I found that to be so amazing. That's in the country music category. It's funny how music has been categorized in such ways. Now we hear rap versions and dialogue in country songs. We hear, to me, that would have been rock. I don't know. The categories keep changing over time. Things keep changing and blending and shifting, and maybe all my conversation today, which was all going all over the map, made sense to someone in some universe, some bizarro universe, or maybe I'm looking to create yet a new thing out of this, right? Out of the ashes comes the phoenix. Yeah, I think this is just a pivotal time for all of us. And if you're not feeling that, I don't know. There's someone trying to call me. Isn't that funny? They're not watching the show? My God, I can't believe that. Anyway, whatever it is, we know that in the future, either going to watch this show or some other show. And hopefully we'll all come together and have a really beautiful future together, supporting each other and making it work, that we can all live and be happy in every moment and find joy in just realizing how valuable our lives are and how much peace we can find in our hearts. Thank you, Louise Lambert. Happy birthday again. And I just really wishing the world will find the kind of peace that the world really needs right now. I am beside myself, as you can see. I don't think I've ever done this. I guess I just clearly didn't have the energy today to fight this overwhelming feeling of confusion and pain, both physically and emotionally. And thank you for being here and being witness. I'll remember this day a long time. And I hope you remember it as an important day, one where you made a choice, hopefully, to help make things happen in a beautiful way that can change the course of mighty rivers. We can solve these seemingly overwhelming problems. It may not all be solved forever, but in our lives we can make it better and better through coming from a place of peace and love and cooperation that definitely is beyond human understanding. It's called simplify, take all away all those lines, and just love. Thank you for joining me here today. It's been a pleasure. I know that the world's a better place.